Transmigrating into the 2008 NBA Finals, you have awakened the Kuroko's basketball system. Right now, the Lakers are trailing the Celtics 60-89, with just the final quarter left in Game 6. The Celtics reclaiming the championship after 15 years seems like an absolute done deal. In stark contrast to the loud, celebrating home crowd, the Lakers bench is suffocating under a heavy blanket of gloom and despair. The team's ace, Kobe Bryant, is sitting in the second-to-last seat on the bench. He's panting heavily, his eyes slightly red. This is the most agonizing moment of his entire career. Sitting on the bench, in the very last seat, a Chinese player, Yu, stare blankly at the eye-burning score. Feeling the raw pain radiating from Kobe right beside you, all you can do is smile bitterly. As an undrafted rookie, even though you managed to score a 1-year, short-term minimum contract with the Lakers for $450,000, and even though you trained like an absolute maniac all season, your incredibly raw skills meant you spent the entire season just riding the bench. The talent gap is just impossible to bridge. When this season ends, the Lakers most likely won't renew your contract. You might as well quit basketball and go into business this summer. Just then, "Hey, the coach is calling you," a teammate suddenly says with a cold, dismissive tone. He shoots you a sharp, glaring look. You snap back to reality and see Kobe, Gasol, and the rest of the starting lineup walking off the court. You glance back at the scoreboard. The deficit has ballooned to a crushing 33 points. With 10 minutes left in the game, you look over at Phil Jackson and point at yourself. Confirming he's actually calling you, you jog onto the court. Looks like you're just here to eat up garbage time. But the very second your foot touches the hardwood, a cold, robotic voice suddenly echoes in your mind. Ding dong. Congratulations to the host for successfully entering the court. Now activating the Kuroko's basketball system. Sending rookie starter pack. The host confused with Atsushi Murasakibra's physical talents. Upon fusion, you will gain his static physical attributes, greatly enhancing your sheer strength and neural reflexes. The initial level is set to the absolute maximum, maxed out. With a fusion rate of 100%, Tomoki Sugawa's ultimate wall. Upon fusion, you will gain his suffocating defensive abilities. The initial level is advanced. With a fusion rate of 60%, within a certain range, it can lower your opponent's shooting percentage by 10 to 20%, and carries a chance to enrage the opponent, baiting them into committing a foul. Shintaro Midoriya's super high arc three-pointer. Upon fusion, your shooting range extends to half court. The initial level is advanced, with a fusion rate of 60%, and a three-point shooting percentage of 60%. As a bonus, we are gifting the host one Daiki Aomin's skill trial card. Upon use, you will gain all of Daiki Aomin's skills. The duration is exactly 5 minutes. Looking over these skill descriptions, you realize that, to some extent, they have been nerfed by the system. But even so, these abilities are completely overpowered. System, fuse them all. You command without a single ounce of hesitation, activating all the permanent fusion skills at once. Ding! Congratulations to the host. Fusion complete. The system's voice rings out clearly. Feeling the explosive changes surging through your body, you can't help but laugh out loud. Just imagine what it would be like for a perimeter player to possess the terrifying, monstrous strength of Shaquille O'Neal. What would it feel like to completely overpower your opponents with sheer brute force during a game? Beep. The referee's whistle snaps you right back to reality. You quickly hustle to your position, waiting for your teammate to inbound the ball. Right now, you are absolutely itching to see what these Kuroko's basketball skills can really do. Just how terrifying can it get on the NBA court? The Lakers inbound the ball from the sideline. Farmar catches the pass, brings it up past half court, and drives hard right at the rim. The point deficit is just too massive, so the Celtics' defense has definitely gotten sloppy. Farmar slices into the paint for an easy layup. Man, it's been several possessions in a row now, and nobody is passing you the ball. You're starting to get anxious. "Hey man, pass the damn ball," you yell out in English, stepping away from your spot in the corner. Instead, you aggressively cut to the top of the arc. Smack! Just as the words leave your mouth, the ball comes flying right at you. But Farmar is just glaring at you with absolute contempt. His eyes are basically saying, "Alright, let's see what you've got." You have zero skill, yet you're begging for a touch? You really don't know your place, do you? You catch the ball and face up against your defender. You realize he's sagging off you by almost 6 feet. "Hey buddy, where'd you even come from?" I had no idea the Lakers even had a Chinese player on the roster. The Celtics player mocks you, his eyes filled with absolute disdain. Your expression turns ice cold as you slightly bend your knees. You grip the ball with both hands, raise it high above your head, and explode upward off your legs. Reaching the peak of your jump, you gently flick your fingers, releasing the ball smoothly. Shintaro Midorima's ultra-high projectile three-pointer skill, activated. Wow, that Chinese player's shooting form is absolutely gorgeous. A few fans in the stands notice it and can't help but gasp in awe. The basketball leaves your hands, tracing a massively high arc through the air. It's flying way higher than a normal three-pointer. It looks like it's going to scrape the ceiling. As the shot sails through the arena, the ball finally begins its descent. Like a perfectly calculated parabola, it plummets toward the rim at a terrifying angle. Swish, that crisp sound of the net echoes through the entire arena. Nothing but nylon. A confident smirk creeps onto your face. Man, that felt pretty good. Famar's pupils shrink. He looks genuinely caught off guard. Damn, it actually went in. Not bad luck, huh? But honestly, nobody really cares about that shot. It's just one three-pointer, big deal. It doesn't change the game at all. Besides, the Celtics are barely even playing defense right now. Anyone could have drained an open three like that. Meanwhile, on the Lakers bench, Kobe is scowling, still agonizing over the blowout, while the rest of the team just stares blankly. They've completely checked out of the game. Over on the Celtics bench, the big three are sitting together, chilling and chatting, completely ignoring whatever is happening on the court. Back in the Chinese broadcast booth, wow, that three-pointer actually dropped. Zhang Hua is looking pretty sharp out there. Yang Jian sounds a bit surprised, then lets out a laugh. Hey, making one three-pointer is definitely a win. At least he's putting some numbers on the board instead of staring at a row of zeros. Hopefully, this three can open the next door for Zhang Hua in the NBA. Yang Yi just raises an eyebrow, completely unimpressed. Meanwhile, the fans in the live chat keep rolling in with their comments, dropping jokes and playfully jinxing him. You can tell, there are still some hardcore fans out there holding on to hope as they watch. Listen up, kid, I just gave you a free pass on that last play. Don't even think about trying another three next time. I'm going to make you look like a total clown out here. The Celtics defender sneers at you aggressively. Man, why is there always a fly buzzing in my ear? Hey buddy, what's your name again? Are you just another benchwarmer for the Celtics? You casually fire back at him. Because when it comes to talking trash, a guy from China like you has never lost. Hey, a loser acting this tough? Does being the runner-up feel that good? That Celtics player has a pretty toxic mouth on him too. He aggressively waves his arms, calling for the ball from his teammate. He has to get his pride back. He strings together a series of dribbles, ready to drive. Your eyes narrow sharply. You immediately activate Jinchuan Juji's strongest arm skill. You easily spot the opponent's opening. Your neural reflexes are as fast as lightning. You seize the perfect moment and go for the steal. The Celtics player feels nothing but empty air in his hands. He is completely dumbfounded, as he turns around to look. You're already dribbling the ball, leading the fast break toward the front court. Then, with absolutely no defenders ahead, you suddenly stop right behind the three-point line. What kind of move is this? The entire crowd freezes. What on earth is this guy trying to do? A fast break and no layup? He just threw in one three-pointer. And now he thinks he's Ray Allen? That's hilarious. The fans in the arena are buzzing, full of absolute disdain. But before they can even finish talking, you've already let the ball fly. Midorima Shintaro's ultra-high arc three-pointer activates again. The basketball traces a terrifyingly high arc. Swish, nothing but net. The score is 66-93, and the point deficit is cut down to 27. What the hell, it went in again. This Chinese player's three-point shot is insanely accurate. A pull-up three on a fast break is incredibly rare. Some fans gasp in shock. Their eyes are completely wide open. On the court, the Celtics players look totally bewildered. He drained another three-pointer. This Chinese player has caught fire. Hurry up and tighten the defense on this Chinese guy. Tony Allen says, furrowing his brows. Right now on the court, he's basically the most heavyweight player on this Celtics squad. The player nods, a ruthless look flashing across his face. We're all freaking bench players here. So what gives you the right to show off? The Celtics go on the offensive. A perimeter player takes a very sloppy three-point shot. Clank, a complete brick. The Lakers grab the defensive rebound. They instantly launch a counterattack. Farmar dribbles the ball, pushing the pace fast. His eyes dart back and forth, desperately searching for you. Even though he has no idea why you've suddenly caught fire. Feeding the hot hand is basic common sense for a point guard. Suddenly, he spots you already positioned in the corner. Without a single second of hesitation, he whips the ball right to you. You catch the ball, but you're tightly locked down outside the three-point line. But three-pointers aren't your only weapon. Now that you possess the physical talents of Murasakibara Atsushi, you can execute other technical moves with total fluidity. You hit them with a pump fake for a three. Getting the defender in the air, you easily blow past him into the paint and finish with a smooth layup. At the same time, you draw the foul, earning an in-one free throw opportunity. You step up to the free throw line and sink it perfectly. Great shot. Farmar wildly pumps his arm in excitement. He is looking at you in a whole new light, completely throwing his previous prejudice out the window. Even if the outcome of this game seems set in stone, you have to admit, your 2 3-pointers are a massive morale booster. Over on the Lakers bench, Gasol, Odom, and the others are gasping in shock. Kobe's eyes instantly light up. His dying hope comes back to life, his heart pounding powerfully in his chest. A bold thought flashes through his mind, and his breathing starts to get heavy. Maybe Zhonghua will be the secret weapon of this game, the one who helps the team close this massive point gap. He quickly glances up at the clock. Before the end of the game, there are just over 8 minutes left, a 24-point deficit. Coming back from this will be insanely hard, but it's not impossible. He stares fiercely at the court. If Zhang can keep up this scorching hot streak, then no matter what, we've got to fight for this game. What the hell are you guys doing? Did you forget to eat? Guard that Chinese player. Celtics head coach Rivers roared at the top of his lungs. His face darkened with anger. The championship was right at their fingertips. We absolutely cannot let any more accidents happen. Whoa there, scoring back-to-back. Give him a chance, and he really seizes it. Yang Yi said with pleasant surprise. This is getting interesting. In the finals, for you to explode like this amidst the deafening roar of the fans, your mental fortitude is seriously off the charts. Yang Jian chimed in, starting to sound expectant. The comments section in the Chinese livestream had completely exploded. Am I watching a fake broadcast right now? Look at this offensive firepower. Is this really our water boy, Zhang 3 points? Comment after comment scrolled by rapidly, getting buried the second they were posted. Even though many of the comments were still teasing you, or even being outright sarcastic. The truth is, your performance had completely ignited the fans' passion for the game. Their endless jinxing was actually a sign of their expectations for you. Back at the TD Garden, you excitedly ran back toward the defensive half. Even though the skill description for Jinchuan Juji's strongest arm didn't include stealing. When facing a benchwarmer, this skill was basically a total cheat code. Insane. I can only say, the skills from Kuroko's basketball are seriously just insane. With just these 3 game-breaking skills, you could already secure a foothold in the NBA. On the Celtics' offensive end, their veteran Tony Allen got an open look and took a mid-range jumper. Clang. What a pity, the ball didn't go in and bounced right off the rim. The Lakers grabbed the defensive rebound and pushed hard for a fast break. However, the Celtics' transition defense was incredibly fast this time. They were also constantly stepping up their defensive intensity. Farmar dribbled past half-court to orchestrate the offense. He signaled for Terryov to come up high and set a screen for you. Coming off the screen, you caught the pass and were immediately met with suffocating defense. You dribbled and drove into the paint once again, leaping high into the air right through the defender. You floated the ball high up into the air. The entire crowd wore exaggerated expressions of disbelief. That vertical leap is absolutely freakish. Is he about to pull off another and one? As you released the ball mid-air, at that exact moment, that Celtics player slapped down hard on your arm. Tweet. The referee's whistle blew once again. Another and one. The whole arena gasped in shock. What kind of skill is this? 2 consecutive and ones. Is the Celtics defense just too soft? Or is this kid from China just that overpowering? You stepped up to the free throw line and easily sank the shot. On the sidelines, Kobe leapt excitedly from the bench, pumping his fist. He glanced up at the Jumbotron. 21 points. He looked over at Coach Phil. His eyes pleading. He wanted to get back on the court. He wanted to fight it out one last time. Phil gave him a knowing look, signaling him to stay calm and be patient. Guys, try your best to get the ball to Zhang. Wah, Phil blew a whistle and shouted loudly toward the court. Farmar, Luke Walton, and the rest of the bench players all nodded, the gloom in their eyes completely swept away. They were getting fired up. Under your momentum, everyone's mindset had shifted. Their fighting spirit was ignited once again. How could they let the Celtics win the championship this easily? Even if the game was a foregone conclusion, they weren't going to make it easy for them. Pierce, you go and lock down that Chinese player. Over on the Celtics bench, head coach Rivers gestured toward Pierce, who was sitting on the bench. Waving him over to sub into the game, Pierce froze for a split second. He probably didn't expect that he'd need to take the court himself, let alone to defend a benchwarmer. It was a bit beneath his status. But for this championship he had waited over 10 years for. Losing a little face didn't matter. Besides, this kid actually dared to act arrogant here in the TD Garden. It was time to let him know who the real boss of this court was. Pierce stood up, took off his warm-up suit, and walked towards the scorer's table. Besides Pierce, Doc Rivers also subbed in Ray Allen and Rajon Rondo, these two key starters, aiming to widen the point gap even further and completely extinguish the Lakers' last sliver of hope. Rivers patted their shoulders, his tone filled with immense confidence. Seeing the Celtics' three main starters step onto the court together, the crowd erupted into passionate cheers. Every fan in the arena knew that the Lakers' comeback ended right here. The Celtics were on the attack. Pierce walked straight up to you, tilted his head, and flashed a ruthless smirk. Not a bad performance, kid. You actually spooked the coach enough to send me in. You should feel honored. Not every waterboy gets the privilege of matching up against me. As he spoke, he boxed you out and called for the ball from Rondo. Rondo got the hint, tossing a high lob right into Pierce's hands. The fans in the arena went absolutely wild. They were dying to see Pierce teach you, a Chinese player, a brutal lesson. With a serious expression, your Jin Chuan GG's strongest arm skill activated once again. This time, facing one of the league's top small forwards. It was uncertain if it would still have a clear effect. Pierce backed you down in the post, trying to edge closer to the basket. But a second later, he was shocked to realize he couldn't move you at all. It felt like he was backing into a solid iron plate. No matter how hard he pushed, you didn't budge an inch. Damn it, what kind of freakish physique is this? Why does he feel even stronger than LeBron? Pierce cursed in his mind, his brows furrowing slightly. Seeing this, you got excited again. So this is the sheer power of Murasakibara Atsushi's physical talent. This feels so damn good. After several failed attempts to back you down, Pierce had no choice but to turn around for a step-back jumper. Clank. The defense from Jin Chuan GG's strongest arm had worked. If we go by Pierce's 44.5% shooting accuracy in this series, then under the effect of the strongest arm skill, his shooting percentage dropped to just over 20%, which is absurdly low. The Lakers grabbed the defensive rebound and launched a fast break, but the current Celtics, having subbed in 3 of their key starters, had elevated their game on both ends of the floor. Their transition defense was incredibly fast, falling right back into their half-court set. Pierce stuck to you like glue. Seeing this, the fans gasped in disbelief. The Celtics' ace star player was actually locking down a benchwarmer. No matter how you looked at it, the scene was unbelievable. Even Kobe, sitting on the bench, had a flash of surprise in his eyes, which was quickly replaced by a look of deep gratification. This Chinese player he usually barely noticed had suddenly become the Lakers' savior, and even earned the respect of their opponents. But on the court, you didn't care who was guarding you. In other words, it didn't matter who was defending you. You sprinted with all your might to get open, using a teammate's screen to run out to the three-point line. The moment you caught the basketball, Pierce was already right in your face. He was incredibly fast, leaving only a tiny window to shoot. Without hesitation, you jumped up and flicked your wrist, releasing the ball. The motion was completely fluid and absolutely beautiful. Even Ray Allen frowned slightly in that split second, unable to hold back a silent sigh of admiration in his heart. Swish. The net rippled like white splashing waves as the ball hit nothing but net once again. The Lakers bench absolutely erupted, with players frantically waving their towels in the air. Way to go, man. You're the absolute savior of this team. Keep this incredible momentum going. Belcher roared at the top of his lungs. His shiny forehead gleamed under the arena lights. My God, we're only down by 18 points now. And with 6 minutes left on the clock, Jong has actually given me hope for a comeback. Gasol said with intense excitement, his whole body trembling. The referee blew the whistle. Doc Rivers had called for a timeout. He keenly sensed the looming crisis, a deep sense of dread welling up inside him. Listen up, guys. This is the finals. Get your heads in the game. We were up by 33 points. But in just 4 short minutes, our lead has been cut to 18. Do you know what happens if we keep playing like this? Do you really want to be forced into a Game 7 against the Lakers? Rivers slammed his hand against the clipboard, roaring furiously. Garnett, you're going back in there too. Lock down those rebounds. Rivers rapidly drew up the next play, his expression terrifyingly dark. Meanwhile, over on the Lakers bench, Phil Jackson was urgently drawing up his own plays. Gasol, Kobe, Fisher, Odom, you guys are going in. Jong Hwa just bought us a real shot at a comeback, and we absolutely have to capitalize on it. When you get back out there, you will be the core of our offense. Phil said, his face lighting up with genuine surprise. Who could have ever predicted that you, a kid all the way from China, would suddenly explode like this? I honestly just put you in during garbage time so you could feel the atmosphere of the finals. But instead, you gave our whole squad an incredible surprise, and gave the opponents a downright scare. So right now, we're building the offense around you. Kobe and Gasol are going to play a supporting role. Let's see if you can keep up that magical performance of yours. As soon as Phil finished speaking, every single pair of eyes instantly darted toward Kobe. After all, the Lakers were Kobe's team. And now Phil was actually letting you, a literal benchwarmer, continue to run. The offense? It was completely unbelievable. Even if you had just scored back-to-back buckets and brought the team hope for a comeback, at the end of the day, you were just a fringe player. With Kobe and Gasol stepping onto the court, the ball naturally belonged in their hands. You'd be a spot-up three-point shooter, at best. But Phil had just made a wildly bold decision. He was going completely against the grain. Would Kobe actually agree to this? Everyone was whispering in their hearts, their expressions turning incredibly complicated. No problem, Kobe said in a deep, gravelly voice, a fierce determination flashing in his eyes. Jong gave us this shot at a comeback. It's only right that Jong keeps leading the offense. The entire bench was stunned all over again. Was this still the same stubbornly proud Kobe they knew? All right, Phil encouraged them in a ringing voice. Let's leave it all out there and give it everything we've got. The Lakers players' eyes instantly hardened with resolve, just waiting for the timeout to end so they could pull off this shocking comeback. Over in the CCTV5 broadcast booth, commentator Yang Jian's voice was shaking with sheer excitement. Back-to-back buckets. Jong Hwa is playing like an absolute god out there right now. Ever since you were relegated to the end of the bench, he had completely given up hope on you. But right now, that long silent heart was pounding furiously once again. Back at the Boston TD Garden, the timeout finally ended. The starting lineups for both teams stepped back onto the hardwood. Celtics basketball. Rondo dribbled the ball past half court, immediately whipping a pass over to Paul Pierce. Doc Rivers' strategy was dead simple. Use their absolute superstar to completely crush you. In their eyes, you're nothing but the weak link in the Lakers' defense. Prejudice is a terrifying thing. Even though you've completely transformed, people's preconceived notions are hard to shake. When Paul Pierce clanked that shot over you last time, they just blamed it on a cold shooting streak. Not a single person thought your defense had anything to do with it. Crush this Chinese kid, man. The fourth quarter of the finals is no place for a scrub like him to show off. Kevin Garnett roared from the paint, spitting trash talk while fighting Pau Gasol for position. His absolute dominance had the Lakers suffocating this entire series. Gasol was fighting for his life out there. But compared to KG, he just wasn't on the same level. Without Gasol stepping up, the Lakers had no choice but to lean heavily on Kobe. The Celtics had thrown all their defensive weight right at Kobe. But now, they had to watch out for you. The Chinese kid who came out of nowhere. Fired up by Garnett's trash talk, Pierce squared up for a face-up isolation. After a flurry of jab steps and crossovers, he hit a vicious step back to create space. And confidently pulled up for a mid-range jumper. A smug smirk crept onto Pierce's face. He thought it was cash, but a split second later, his expression dropped. The ball clanked off the iron. Lamar Odom fought like hell to snatch the rebound, and instantly whipped it over to Kobe. Kobe pushed the pace in transition, his eyes flashing right toward your spot. Meanwhile, the Celtics' defense was still dead set on Kobe. As far as they were concerned, A ruthless competitor like Kobe was definitely taking this shot himself. In clutch moments, he never trusted anyone, except himself. But then, the unthinkable happened. Staring down a mismatch against Rondo, Kobe had a wide-open look. But instead, he fired a pass to you. You had just curled off a screen to the right wing at a 45-degree angle. Pierce and Garnett looked absolutely stunned. Kobe actually passed the ball. Pierce frantically slammed on the brakes and lunged right at you. But he was a step too late. You caught the pass and fired wide open. A beautiful, high-arcing three-pointer sailed through the air and splashed nothing but net. 78-93. The deficit was cut down to 15. With just 5 minutes left on the clock, Kobe let out a massive roar, spit flying everywhere. He pumped his fists in pure hype. In that moment, to him, you were the savior of the team. The entire Lakers squad erupted with energy. Even Phil Jackson let out a loud whistle. The Zen master himself couldn't hide his excitement. Damn it, Paul, forget Kobe, lock down that Chinese kid. Doc Rivers stomped his feet furiously, screaming at the floor. Pierce's face went dark. He glared at you, his eyes burning with absolute murder. This damn water boy is getting me chewed out. He muttered through gritted teeth, flashing a quick hand signal to Rondo. He wanted an ISO. Rondo inbounded the ball to Pierce in the backcourt. Pierce crossed half court and barreled straight at you. You planted yourself right in his driving lane, refusing to give an inch. A nasty sneer crossed Pierce's face. As a small forward, his physical strength was top tier in the league. Even when matching up against LeBron James, he never backed down. A scrawny Chinese kid thinks he can take me? Blind with rage, he lowered his shoulder and slammed into you with everything he had. Bam! Pierce fully expected to send you flying. Instead, it felt like he had just rammed into a solid brick wall. His body ricocheted violently. Pierce stumbled backward, totally out of control, unable to brace himself against the sheer force, and fell flat on his ass. The entire arena instantly went dead silent. The crowd just stared down at Pierce in utter disbelief, looking totally confused. Is he just acting? Tweet. The ref's whistle blew, calling a blocking foul on you. No way. Kobe clutched his head and was the first to rush over to argue. That is clearly an offensive foul. Pierce is flopping, but the referee stuck to his call. He knocked Pierce down, blocking foul. Kobe walked back, looking completely helpless. He patted your shoulder. Hey man, don't let it get to you. Your defense was great. Keep it up. You just gave a slight smirk. You were only feeling excited. Frustration? Not a chance. That collision with Pierce just now. Murasakibra's monstrous physical strength was on full display once again. That kind of raw power makes you feel like you could absolutely dominate the NBA. Hell, you could even become a superstar playing football. Meanwhile, Pierce was lying on the floor, listening to the crowd going wild. His brain was still totally spinning. He felt dizzy, and his whole body was aching. The exact spot where you guys collided felt like it was being stabbed by 1,000 needles. This is absolutely insane. Is there a literal monster hiding inside this guy? His teammates gathered around and pulled him back up to his feet. Man, what a brilliant flop. Drawing that blocking foul was a massive morale boost. Ray Allen said excitedly, that is exactly the kind of attitude we need. Do whatever it takes to win. Garnett said, playfully smacking him on the head. Pierce looked completely baffled. Acting? A blocking foul? It suddenly hit him. They completely misunderstood. I actually got sent flying. Everyone thinks I was just flopping. He wanted to cry, but no tears came out. But after thinking it over, he decided to just play along. Otherwise, his tough guy reputation would be ruined. He glanced over at you, his eyes filled with a new sense of sheer dread. I am never going head to head with this freak ever again. Pierce cursed under his breath. One more hit like that, and my old bones are gonna shatter. The Celtics continued their offensive play. Rondo dribbled up the court to run the play, while Ray Allen darted into the open and pulled up for a quick three. Swish. The ball went straight through the net, widening the gap back to 18 points. This was the very first time the Celtics had scored in a half-court set since you stepped onto the floor. The arena instantly erupted into a deafening roar. The Lakers might have a breakout Chinese player, but we have Ray Allen. Someone screamed from the stands. Ray Allen threw both hands in the air, completely mocking your celebration, and shot you a highly provocative glare. Damn it, if it wasn't for that blind ref, we would have had the ball. Kobe complained, which was incredibly rare for him. Stay focused, we still have a chance. He patted his shoulder, your tone completely calm but unshakably firm. Kobe took a deep breath, letting his frustration slowly fade away. Lakers on the offense, Kobe went all out, trying to set up a play for you. But Pierce was glued to you like a shadow, completely denying you any chance to get the ball. Suddenly, you reversed your route and sprinted straight for the mid-court logo. The entire arena was stunned. What kind of play is this? How is he supposed to score from way out there? Even though Kobe was confused, he still passed the ball your way. Pierce stood about 2 meters back, his arms spread wide, a cocky smirk plastered across his face. You ran all the way out there just to catch it? You still gotta come back, kid. You took 2 hard dribbles forward, drawing a double team from both Pierce and Ray Allen, and just when they thought you were gonna pull up for a deep 3, you suddenly whipped a pass to a wide-open Kobe. Kobe caught it, went straight up, and fired away. The basketball traced a beautiful, high arc through the air, and swished right through the net. Nothing but nylon. Kobe let out a massive roar to the sky. Tugging at his jersey, he rushed over to give you a hyped-up high five. That pass was absolutely brilliant. Kobe's chest is heaving heavily, like his heart is going to explode any second. The rest of the Lakers go wild, rushing straight at you. They're so hyped they're practically jumping out of their skins. Meanwhile, Pierce is just frozen there. His mind is completely blown. How could this kid have such insane attention to detail? His thoughts are a total mess. Man, this is the finals. The grand stage. Where the hell did he come from? What kind of black magic is this? Why did he have to go off right now? And going off like a damn superstar, too. Ray Allen is feeling just as conflicted. If he hadn't gone for the double team, there's no way Kobe would have had the space to sink that 3. Doc Rivers immediately calls another timeout. And right now, Doc isn't angry, he's terrified. You can see the players' confidence is starting to crack. Sure, the Celtics are still up by 15 points, but the rest of this game? It's gonna be a brutal dogfight. Over on the broadcast, the commentators are losing their minds. Jong Hua's performance is absolutely god tier. Yang Jian gasps, his heart dropping like a roller coaster. Good heavens. Zhang Hua is absolutely blowing this game wide open. Yang Yi is almost in tears from the hype. Are you seeing this, American media? This is the power of a Chinese player. He stays quiet, but when he speaks, he shakes the world. He's skyrocketing straight to the top. After tonight, who would dare mock Zhang Hua? Who would dare look down on Chinese players? Get in line and apologize. Over in the XL live chat, fans are stunned. Is this really the Zhang Hua we know? He's insane. Most of the fans have completely flipped the script and are now cheering frantically for you. They're all holding their breath for a miracle. Though, of course, the haters are still desperately clinging to their trash talk. Come on, he just had a few lucky minutes and you guys are treating him like a god? You guys have never seen real ball. The flame war escalates, and the comment section turns into an absolute bloodbath. Back at the TD Garden, the Celtics bench is dead silent. Who could have ever predicted this? A bench-warming water boy is literally tearing them apart. He's out here doing what even Kobe couldn't do tonight. Double team him. We have to shut down that Chinese kid. Doc Rivers barks the order through gritted teeth, absolutely ruthless. The timeout ends, and the Celtics inbound from the sideline. Rondo brings the ball up the court. He drives hard, pulls the defense in, and kicks it out to Ray Allen. Ray pulls up for the shot. Clang. The ball bricks off the rim. Gasol fights like his life depends on it and rips down the rebound. Here come the Lakers on the fast break. Fisher pushes it past half court and zips the ball right to you. But the second you touch it, Pierce and Rondo instantly swarm you with a vicious double team. You force the shot, and it clanks off the iron. The Celtics immediately transition. Rondo slices through the paint and finishes with a slick layup. 81-98. The gap is stretched back to 17 points, with just over 4 minutes left on the clock. Doc Rivers roars in excitement. The double team worked. Keep him locked down, and the Lakers are finished. Yeah, Kobe is a legend, but he is totally out of rhythm tonight. Gasol is getting completely suffocated by Garnett. The Lakers have literally nobody left who can step up and score. That trophy is ours. All of Doc's previous panic is completely wiped away. As long as they control the tempo, the championship is basically in the bag. The arena erupts into deafening cheers. The crowd is chanting "Beat LA. Beat LA," so loud the building is shaking. The Lakers' morale crashes right back to rock bottom. All the fire sparked by those back-to-back threes has vanished into thin air. Everyone knows it. The second they shut you down, this game is officially over. Kobe's face twists in pure frustration, cursing himself for playing so poorly. He's been the savior so many times before, hitting those impossible fadeaways to turn everything around. He was completely powerless in this game. Damn basketball, the ball just wouldn't go into that damn hoop. What's wrong, guys? Keep your heads up, we still have time to turn this game around. You clapped your hands, your voice filled with absolute conviction. Everyone stared at you in surprise, as if drawn in by the radiant energy you were giving off. But you're completely locked down. Those Celtics are playing dirty. I can't believe they're double-teaming a rookie. Odom clenched his fists in pure frustration. It's fine, my true strength goes way beyond this. A slight smirk played on your lips. Your tone was dripping with overwhelming confidence. Kobe and Odom exchanged a look, completely bewildered. They remembered it clearly. On your scouting report, your only standout skill was your three-point shot. Aside from that, you had absolutely nothing else. But you were about to change their minds, completely. System, use the Aomin Daiki basketball skill trial card. You roared in your heart, feeling your blood absolutely boiling. The unstoppable ace of the generation of miracles. The Celtics really thought a simple double team could hold you back? How incredibly naive. Ding dong. Successfully applied. Host will acquire super high-speed dribbling, formless shots, animal instinct, and the ability to enter the zone. These 4 major skills will last for 5 minutes. As the system's voice echoed in your mind, your expression turned terrifyingly cold. A bloodthirsty gleam flashed in your eyes. The hunt has officially begun. Give me the ball, I'm going to finish this game. Odom and Fisher were left staring at each other in shock. Is this kid out of his mind? Where did a rookie who only shoots threes get that kind of nerve? What's crazier is that he's actually demanding the spotlight right in front of Kobe. Seriously, who's the real boss here? Everyone immediately turned their eyes to Kobe. Kobe just narrowed his eyes, subconsciously rubbing his wristband. Those 7 absolutely unreasonable three-pointers you just hit were still burning in his vision. Maybe it was worth the gamble. The second Fisher dribbled the ball past half-court, you had already locked down the top of the arc, calling for the ball with wide-open hands. Rondo and Pierce instantly swarmed you, like a pair of bloodthirsty sharks closing in for the kill. But then, you suddenly dropped your center of gravity. The basketball exploded into a blur of afterimages right at your fingertips. Bang, 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 amidst the blazing fast dribbling sounds that the human eye couldn't even process. Those 2 elite defenders were suddenly frozen like clumsy wooden posts. With one explosive crossover, you sliced right through the gap between them. As you hit a step back beyond the three-point line, your body twisted into an absolutely physics-defying angle. The exact second the basketball left your hands in a gorgeous rainbow arc, you heard Pierce curse under his breath. Swish. The very moment the scoreboard jumped to 84-98, all of Staples Center went dead silent, like someone hit the mute button. Nobody could even see clearly how that little orange ball had just phased through a triple-layered defense. Just like nobody could understand why this rookie from China suddenly had the deadly glare of an apex predator in his eyes. Your dribbling was completely unleashed, like a wild stallion. Crossovers, between the legs, behind the back. Every single move shattered the standard textbook rules of basketball, yet it was so mind-numbingly fast that it sent shivers down everyone's spine. The entire arena was plunged into an eerie silence. It wasn't until the big screen showed the slow-motion replay 3 times that the crowd finally erupted. There were actually 2 dribble moves that even the high-speed cameras couldn't capture. Pierce's face turned completely pale. Kobe, on the other hand, broke into a massive grin. How is this kid an undrafted rookie? He's clearly a diamond in the rough. Wait, is this street ball? In the broadcasting booth, commentator Yang Jian's jaw practically hit the floor. These moves have absolutely zero logic to them, but they're ridiculously fast. Yang Yi slammed the table in excitement. Even 10 years of hardcore training wouldn't get you to this level. What he really needs to worry about right now is, before the words could even settle, the harsh clank of Garnett's missed mid-range jumper cut him off. You blasted into the paint like a cheetah, snatching the rebound. In a flash, you ignited a blazing fast break. Rondo had barely dropped into his defensive stance before you dusted him completely with a wicked, ankle-breaking crossover. Pierce came lunging at you wildly, but you hit him with a deadly hesitation cross into a spin move. Your sneakers screeched like thunder against the hardwood. Ray Allen quickly squared up to block your path, but a blur just flashed right past his eyes, leaving nothing but the wind whipping at your jersey number. You launched into the paint like an absolute cannonball. The deafening explosion of your tomahawk jam left the entire backboard shuddering. 10 seconds. That was all it took from the rebound to the monster slam. The scoreboard instantly snapped to a 12-point deficit. Coach Rivers didn't even realize his tie was completely crooked. He just stared at the clock ticking down to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, his throat completely tight. The way this Chinese kid just tore through 3 defenders, it was literally like watching someone play 2K on speed hacks. Kill the clock, do not let them run, he screamed at the top of his lungs. But then he saw the panicked look in Ray Allen's eyes. These seasoned vets were actually terrified of an undrafted rookie. God only knew what kind of absolute chaos this kid was gonna unleash in the next 3 minutes. Ray Allen's jumper bricked hard off the iron. Gasol gritted his teeth and ripped down the defensive board. Instantly, every single eye in the arena locked onto you. The second the ball touched your hands, even the deafening boos shaking the TD Garden sounded like they were trembling. In full beast mode, you didn't even care about passing. Staring down a triple team, you just pulled up and fired. The ball went up with an impossibly high arc, looking like it was gonna smash right through the stadium spotlights. Bang! The ball clanked violently off the rim. The entire arena let out a massive, collective sigh of relief. Watching you pull up from deep was honestly more terrifying than guarding Ray Allen. Every single shot you took felt like a literal heart attack. Garnett and Pierce had already boxed out perfectly, ready to swallow up the rebound. But you just stood out there beyond the arc, narrowing your eyes. If it doesn't fall, then it's time to cheat. You instantly flipped the switch into the zone, and suddenly, the whole world shifted into slow motion. The ball's exact trajectory, its spin, the exact spot it was gonna drop, it all mapped out perfectly in your brain. You exploded off the floor like a bolt of dark lightning, slashing straight into the paint. You leapt up and completely ripped the ball away right over Garnett's head. As the crowd lost their absolute minds, you calmly dribbled right back out to the 3-point line. You pulled up for another ridiculously high 3. Swish, nothing but net. You clenched your fists, feeling that insane surge of power from being in the zone. Your strength, speed, vertical, and court vision were completely maxed out. Even your shooting hand was burning up. This wasn't just playing basketball anymore. It was literally like playing with cheat codes. The sidelines completely erupted. I swear to God, did that Chinese kid just teleport? Even Jordan was never this absolutely unreal. Please, just let the clock run out. If this keeps up, they're actually gonna steal the game. Paul Pierce was pale as a ghost. They were still up by 9 points, but he looked like they had already lost the finals. You licked your lips. This comeback? It was just getting started. With every single possession, you were shattering their reality. And the craziest part? You were still getting stronger. Limits? What limits? The Celtics squad looked absolutely sick to their stomachs, while the Lakers bench was going completely ballistic. They were waving towels so fast they looked like blurs. Kobe and Gasol were screaming until their voices went totally hoarse. Right when they thought it was all over, you ripped through their despair like a blinding flash of light. Rondo fired off a pass, but smack. You darted out like a lightning bolt and picked it off clean. Trapped in the zone, your reflexes felt like you were literally seeing the future. You took off on a solo fast break, leaving the entire defense eating your dust. You slammed on the brakes right at the 3-point line, pulled up, and fired. The ball carved a flaming, sky-high arc before hitting dead center. Swish. The Celtics were officially in pure panic mode. They started aggressively double-teaming you like absolute maniacs, completely denying you the ball. But by doing that, Kobe capitalized instantly, draining back-to-back mid-range jumpers. 96-98. With exactly 1 minute left on the clock, it was just a 2-point game. The biggest comeback in NBA Finals history is inches away. Inside the broadcast studio, the two commentators look at each other, seeing the exact same shock in each other's eyes. This performance is just like Prime Jordan possessing his body. Yang Jian shakes his head with a bitter smile. Staying quiet all season and suddenly exploding like this? That's insane. Yang Yi stares at the screen, muttering, how is he a role player? He's a straight-up superstar. His dribbling, his explosiveness, his shooting. Man, even if Jordan were here, he'd have to call him the boss. There were a few possessions, Yang Jian pauses, where I honestly doubted if he was even human. Right now, all I want to know is, Yang Yi suddenly laughs, just how terrifyingly good he will be in the future. The balance of this game has completely tipped in the Lakers' favor. Yang Yi pushes up his glasses. His eyes are sharp. It's not that the Celtics aren't strong. They're just a little out of luck. At this moment, the live chat is blowing up. Holy crap, is this still the same guy? His dribbling, driving, and defense are all maxed out. With this kind of skill, he was the water boy? The coach must be blind. The Celtics are still up by 2. Doesn't matter, the Lakers are definitely gonna win. On the court, Rondo drives and dishes. Ray Allen cuts in, hits a floater. Swish. Nothing but net. The lead stretches to 4 points. This time, he doesn't dare to trash talk. Instead, he keeps his head down and runs back on defense. The air freezes. The game will be decided in the very next second. You catch the ball at the baseline. You cross up Pierce and Rondo back to back, slash into the paint, and right in Garnett's face. You hit a double pump reverse layup. 96-98. Pierce doesn't buy into the hype. He isolates at the top of the key, fakes, and drives. And then, smack, you steal the ball in a flash. He can't even see your taillights. By the time he turns around, you're already in the front court, getting an easy layup. 98-98. Score is tied. The whole arena goes dead silent. This is the umpteenth time tonight that you've brutally forced the crowd into mute mode. Pierce finally gets it. Trying to take you one-on-one is pure suicide. Doc Rivers, sweating bullets, calls his final timeout. His voice is hoarse. Listen up. Give the ball to Garnett. Stop chucking crazy shots from the outside. Especially you, Pierce. If you try to isolate Zhonghua again, I will instantly bench your ass. The hand gripping his clipboard is shaking. A 33-point lead. Absolutely shredded to pieces by this Chinese kid all by himself. Now, it's too late. On this last defensive play, everybody locked down Zhonghua's three-pointer. Rivers slaps the chair, eyes bloodshot. I'd rather send him to the free throw line than let him shoot. On the Lakers bench, Phil Jackson says only 5 words. Give Zhonghua the ball. Even Kobe nods in silent agreement. The last 33 seconds. Rondo runs a pick and roll with Perkins. After driving into the paint, he fakes a pass to the trailing Perkins. But the basketball spins in his hand. With a flick of his wrist, it flies in the opposite direction. Garnett hits the mid-range, swish, 100-98. The crowd erupts into screams of survival. On the Celtics bench, someone is already wiping away tears. 24 seconds left. You catch the ball at the baseline and push the pace. Kobe and the others instantly clear out the half-court. The global broadcast cameras are shaking. This one shot will either make you a god, or make you a ghost. The entire arena holds its breath. 20,000 pairs of eyes are locked on you. Even the sound of breathing is choked out. 20 seconds. You stop at the top of the key, fingertips lightly tapping the basketball. Letting the shot clock swallow their hope, second by second. 18 seconds. 17 seconds. Kobe clenches his jaw. His fingers subconsciously wipe his shorts twice. He can barely hold back. 13 seconds. You suddenly explode into motion. Pierce lunges at you, but you instantly drop him with a crossover. The exact second Rondo steps up to defend, you spin, your sneakers turning into a blur. Screeching loudly against the hardwood, Garnett blocks the paint, flashing a wicked grin. Come on, rookie. He spreads his arms wide like a raging grizzly bear. I'm the defensive player of the year, man. The entire Lakers bench grabs their heads in absolute shock. Kobe, Gasol, Odom, and the rest of the guys. All clutching their heads in sheer despair. Challenging Garnett? Are you completely out of your mind? But you leap right into Garnett anyway. Holding the ball up with both hands, looking like a willing sacrifice. Garnett sneers as he chops down hard. He winds up his arm and smashes right into your wrist. Smack. The instant the referee's whistle blows, your suspended body suddenly twists into a desperate counterattack. But where is the ball? In that split second, you are completely flipped over, plummeting to the floor like a kite with a snapped string. Right before your back slams into the hardwood, the formless shot activates. With a flick of your wrist, the basketball leaves your fingertips. It traces a bizarre arc through the air. The entire arena goes dead silent. The ball dances on the rim, bounce, bounce. It rattles around a few times. Then with a swish, it drops right through the net. The shot is good, tied at 100-100, with only 0.9 seconds left on the clock. Beep. The referee's whistle blows again. Garnett is called for a shooting foul. Zhonghua gets an and one free throw. All 20,000 fans in the arena grabbed their heads, their eyes wide with absolute shock. Staring at the court in pure disbelief. In one play? How on earth is it that this Chinese player, completely off balance and practically crashing to the floor, was still able to get the shot off, and actually make it? Over on the sidelines, Coach Doc Rivers frowns at Garnett, throwing his hands up in the air as if demanding to know what the hell just happened. Garnett is frozen on the spot, replaying the whole sequence in his head. He suddenly remembers that slight smirk on your face right before the foul. His expression shifts instantly. He stumbles 2 steps backward, staring at you lying there on the hardwood. His eyes filled with absolute horror. This Chinese rookie, he purposely baited me into the foul. Yes, what an unbelievable shot. The Lakers players sprint frantically over to you. They pull you up from the floor, slapping your head and pounding your chest in pure hype. They are excited beyond words. Any trace of doubt they had just seconds ago has completely vanished into thin air. You have to sink this free throw, kid, Kobe says, clapping you heavily on the shoulder. His eyes are absolutely filled with hope. You give a slight nod and step up to the free throw line. You take a deep breath, and easily drain the shot. 101-100. The Lakers take a 1-point lead. With only 0.9 seconds left on the clock, the Celtics are completely out of timeouts. They are forced to inbound from the backcourt. Rondo throws the ball deep to Pierce, who immediately chucks a desperate heave toward the frontcourt. Just as the final buzzer sounds, the ball sails completely out of bounds. You're in one play just iced the game. The entire Lakers squad goes absolutely ballistic. The guys from the bench storm onto the court, mobbing you in the center alongside Kobe and the starters, jumping up and down like crazy, celebrating this insanely hard-fought victory. Tonight, in the final 10 minutes of the game, they witnessed a literal miracle unfold right before their eyes. The series is now tied at 3-3, and just like that, the thrilling suspense of this series stays alive. We are heading to a Game 7. The Celtics players trudge off the court in utter devastation. They never in a million years imagined the game would end like this. 33-point lead, blown, just like that. Who could have ever predicted that a bench-warming rookie would explode with this kind of terrifying energy during garbage time? As bitter as it is for them to swallow, the outcome of this game is set in stone. Figuring out how to shut you down is going to be their only focus heading into Game 7. That was the biggest issue they faced. And right now, the 2 live commentators are screaming about this unbelievable final quarter, completely out of their minds with excitement. Hearing the commentators, the furious fans are smashing their support signs on the ground. The words "Beat LA" on them look so glaring, and so bitterly ironic right now. After their wild celebration on the court, the Lakers players head down the tunnel. They make their way back to the locker room. Inside the Lakers locker room at the TD Garden, cheers are echoing through the doors. Everyone is still riding the high of that insane comeback. Even Kobe, the absolute killer who always preaches jobs not finished, actually has a massive smile on his face, still buzzing from the adrenaline. I swear to God, that was the craziest playoff performance I've ever seen. I freaking love this Chinese kid. Man, after this game, you're on a whole different level, Zhonghua. You just went from a total nobody to a global superstar. And it only took you 10 minutes. Right at that moment, the system's voice suddenly echoes in Zhonghua's mind. Ding dong. Congratulations, host, for completing the mission. Distributing rewards now. Congratulations, you have earned 3,000 achievement points. You also received 50 skill fusion fragments. Your total achievement points have now reached 10,000. You are eligible for 1 lottery draw. Would you like to proceed with the draw now? The system asks. Do it. Draw now. You say without a second thought. Right now, the team is in the most crucial stretch of the championship run. The stronger you get, the better your chances. Ding dong. Commencing the draw. The roulette wheel spins at lightning speed, before gradually grinding to a halt. Congratulations, host, you have acquired Kotaro Hayama's lightning dribble skill. Initial level, advanced. Hearing this, you can't help but feel a massive surge of excitement. With the lightning dribble, using just 3 fingers creates a deafening roar and explosive speed. When you push it to 4 fingers, the basketball moves so incredibly fast it literally seems to vanish as you blow past defenders. And when you unleash all 5 fingers, the dribbling speed hits pure, unadulterated lightning. You snap your consciousness back to reality. Your teammates are still going crazy celebrating. Knock knock knock. Someone knocks on the locker room door and steps inside. A team staff member looks a bit flustered as he says, guys, it's almost time for the post-game press conference. The NBA officials and a ton of media outlets are specifically requesting Zhonghua to be there. Everyone's jaws drop as they turn to stare at you. You're completely caught off guard too, pointing at yourself in total disbelief. Wait, me? You honestly can't even remember the last time you were pulled into an interview. It might have actually been your introductory press conference when you first signed with the Lakers. Damn right, Zhang deserves to be up there, Kobe says with a massive grin. He motions for you to follow him. Head coach Phil Jackson is walking out right there alongside you guys, too. The three of you walk down the long corridor to the press room. But the second you step inside, all three of you are completely shocked. The massive press room is absolutely packed to the brim with reporters and camera crews. It is strictly shoulder to shoulder in there. Just at a quick glance, there have to be at least 200 different media outlets crammed into the room. Even Kobe is caught off guard. This turnout is completely insane. As the three of you sit down, every single camera instantly swivels and locks right onto you. Zhang, thanks to your god-tier performance tonight, the team just pulled off a 33-point comeback, the biggest in finals history. You just forced a Game 7 for this series. What are your expectations heading into Game 7? No question about it, the championship. I'm going to help my team destroy the Celtics, and we are lifting that championship trophy this season. You say it calmly, but your voice is dripping with absolute, unshakable confidence. It exudes absolute dominance. The reporters in the room are instantly stunned into silence. Is this badass aura really something a damn benchwarmer would have? Compared to the jam-packed crowd in the Lakers interview room, the Celtics interview room seemed a bit deserted, with barely 100 reporters showing up. Rivers, going into Game 7, will you set up any targeted defense against Zhonghua? No, there's absolutely no need. I know the Lakers will definitely, in Game 7, increase Zhonghua's playing time, but his biggest skill set is just shooting threes, 10 for 13. I don't believe that in the next game, he'll still have such a terrifying shooting percentage, Rivers said with a perfectly calm face, while screaming internally. Is that even a damn question? Of course we need targeted defense, even if this Chinese rookie's percentage drops. Letting him hit even 3 3-pointers is completely unacceptable. After wrapping up the post-game interviews, the army of reporters rushed back to their respective agencies, pulling crazy overtime to write their articles. There was just way too much to cover about this game, and the post-game interviews were absolutely packed with drama. The next day, across the ocean in China, reports about you and the Lakers completely swept the internet, sparking heated, non-stop discussions among fans everywhere. For a time, you became the absolute hottest sports figure in all of China, even surpassing the sports stars preparing for the Olympic Games. You truly achieved overnight fame. Meanwhile, in the Miami Heat's president's office, Pat Riley was flipping through all the information he could possibly gather about you. Just then, a tall figure pushed the door open and walked right in. It was none other than the Heat's franchise star, Dwayne Wade. Damn, did you catch the finals yesterday? That Chinese rookie's performance was totally insane. I'm honestly about to become a fan of his, Wade said with an exaggerated expression, visibly hyped up. Of course I did. Look at what I'm doing right now, Riley replied, pointing to the files spread across his desk. Wade nodded, giving Riley a big thumbs up. His whole reason for coming here was to chat with Riley about Zhonghua. After the finals are over, Zhonghua will become a free agent. Once the free agency market opens up, maybe the Heat will have a shot at signing this future star. Over in the Los Angeles Lakers general manager's office, Mitch Kupchak was happily patting himself on the back for his keen eye for talent. Having signed Zhonghua, suddenly, the phone on his desk started ringing. It was the Lakers owner, Jerry Buss. Hey boss, what can I do for you? You did a damn good job signing Zhonghua, but his contract is expiring real soon. I need you to fly to Boston right now, and keep Zhonghua on the team at all costs. Jerry Buss's voice was filled with absolute urgency. At all costs? Is there a cap on the contract offer? Kupchak was a little dumbfounded. That was really hard to gauge. No cap, as long as it fits within the league rules. Give him however big of a contract it takes. This undrafted Chinese rookie has insane talent. I trust my own eyes, Jerry Buss said, sounding incredibly thrilled. The next day, the NBA Finals rolled into Game 7. 3 hours before tip-off, passionate fans completely took over the TD Garden Arena. Even though in the last game, the Celtics blew a 33-point lead and got completely reversed by the Lakers, it didn't shake the fans' confidence one bit. They still firmly believed that the iron-blooded Green Army would never be knocked down by a little setback like this. Inside the arena, both teams were doing their pre-game interviews. In the Lakers' interview room, Phil, in the last game, Jong-hwa put on an unbelievable performance, helping the Lakers pull off a massive comeback. "Excuse me, but will you be giving Jong-hwa a major role in tonight's game?" A reporter asked. "Maybe, I'll give Jong-hwa a few minutes on the court, and we'll see how he does. Hopefully, he can keep up that red-hot momentum from the last game," Phil said casually, squinting his eyes, making it impossible to read his mind. The reporters nodded in agreement, even though he talked a huge game in the last post-game interview. Everyone was still pretty skeptical. What Phil just said sounded way more realistic. What the heck was that last post-game interview anyway? Saying Jong-hwa could be the next Kobe was just absurd. If he plays well, he stays on the court. If he struggles, he gets benched. The NBA is just ruthless like that, especially in a Game 7 of the finals. The head coach is definitely going to play it safe with the rotations. The guys who can actually control the flow of the game are still star players like Kobe and Gasol. As for this undrafted rookie, he might just get a few minutes, chuck up 2 3-pointers, and get subbed right back out. "Kobe, your performance in this series has been pretty inconsistent. Is that because of your injuries or the Celtics' defense? Going into this massive Game 7, are you worried about your form at all?" Another reporter asked, shifting the spotlight over to him. "Not worried at all, I just want to win. No matter how I'm feeling, I'm going to leave everything out on the floor to win this game." Kobe kept it short, his expression dead serious. You heard what Jong-hwa had to say in the post-game interview last time. Do you think he can actually back up that talk? He definitely didn't look like he was joking around. "I'm really looking forward to it," Kobe replied. He shrugged, and a rare smirk actually crept across his face. Just thinking about what Jong-hwa did in practice got Kobe pretty hyped up. Maybe this undrafted kid from China really could, in tonight's Game 7, put on another performance that shocks the world. The reporters were totally dumbfounded, thinking, man, he is absolutely desperate for a ring. To think that the biggest superstar in the NBA, Kobe Bryant, is actually counting on an undrafted rookie to save the team. It was just unbelievable. Meanwhile, over in the Celtics press room, Doc Rivers, heading into tonight's game, who do you consider to be the biggest threat to your team? A reporter asked. Without a doubt, it's Kobe Bryant. He's one of the greatest scorers in the history of the game. We absolutely have to find a way to slow him down, Rivers said, his voice full of respect. Well, what about Jong-hwa? Another reporter suddenly chimed in. Are you kidding me? Rivers shot back, making a wildly exaggerated face. Showed just how ridiculous he found the question. I really don't see Jong-hwa outperforming Kobe. He continued, flashing a deeply confident look. We just weren't prepared last time, which let that undrafted kid from China do whatever he wanted out there. But for tonight, we've drawn up specific defensive schemes just for him. If that rookie steps on the court, we're going to lock him down so hard he'll question his own existence. The reporters chuckled at that. Yeah, it was kind of a stupid question. How could anyone even compare Jong-hwa to Kobe Bryant? Ray Allen, Jong-hwa made a bold claim that he's going to drop another 10 3-pointers in tonight's game. What's your take on that? A reporter pivoted the topic. Hitting 10 threes in back-to-back games. It has never happened in the entire history of the NBA. I couldn't pull it off. And Reggie Miller couldn't pull it off either. As for Jong-hwa, Lady Luck has already smiled on him once. If she smiles on him a second time, wouldn't that be way too unfair to us? Ray Allen said in a low, heavy voice. He didn't say it outright, but the implication was crystal clear. Are you confident you'll drain more 3-pointers than Jong-hwa in this game? Without a doubt, the 3-point shot is exactly how I survive in the NBA. Ray Allen replied with absolute confidence. After that sheer display of dominance, the Celtics and Lakers finished changing in their respective locker rooms and charged out onto the court through the player tunnels. Under the blazing spotlights, every single player wore a dead serious expression, their eyes burning with a fiery, unyielding drive. In that overwhelming ocean of green, the purple and gold of the Lakers looked somewhat isolated. Almost like they were completely surrounded. The crowd roared in a deafening frenzy. In this suffocatingly tense atmosphere, the championship-deciding Game 7 was right on the verge of tipping off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TD Garden Arena. You are watching Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Who will win this ultimate showdown and take home this year's NBA championship? Man, the tension and anticipation are just off the charts. The color commentator for tonight's game, Charles Barkley, shouted with explosive, fiery passion. The atmosphere in this arena is already hyped to the absolute max. Now, let's see exactly what kind of incredible performance the Celtics and the Lakers are going to give us today. The other commentator, Reggie Miller, was equally pumped as he said, "Old friend, who do you personally think is gonna win Game 7 and take home the championship?" Barkley raised an eyebrow, asking with a wicked, mischievous grin on his face. "I highly favor the Celtics. After all, in the previous 6 games, the Celtics have shown absolute, crushing dominance. The fact that the Lakers dragged this to a Game 7, I think a huge part of that comes down to pure luck." Even though Reggie Miller knew Barkley was digging a trap for him, he still jumped right into it without a second thought. Down on the court, the players had finished their pre-game warm-ups and returned to the bench to go over the final tactical setups with their coaches. At the exact same time, the assistant coaches from both sides submitted their starting lineups to the scorer's table. Immediately after, the massive jumbotron flashed the starting 5 for both teams, and Lee Jonghwa's name was shockingly right there on the list. An absolute uproar swept through the arena, followed quickly by waves of mocking laughter. Starting a bench-warming waterboy in a Game 7 showdown? Has Phil lost his damn mind? Well, this is actually great news. The Celtics should easily win this game now. That championship is as good as ours. Starting an undrafted rookie who only hit one single three-pointer in the entire regular season. In Game 7 of the Finals? This has to be a first in NBA history. Win or lose tonight, Phil is definitely going down in history for this crazy stunt. Meanwhile, over on the Lakers bench, the eyes of every single player were glued completely on Phil Jackson. Phil spoke up, his voice radiating infectious energy. "Throughout this entire series, we've constantly been the underdogs. But I know that we are the absolute best. Now, go out there, win this damn game, and take home that championship." "Yes, sir," the players roared back. With overwhelming momentum, the 5 starters began marching toward the court. "Jong," Phil suddenly called out to stop him. He turned back around, with a hint of doubt in his eyes. "He's eagerly waiting to see your 3-point show. Phil tells you seriously that he has high hopes for you, and honestly, you're pretty moved. It feels incredibly good to be trusted like this. You just throw up an okay hand sign. Playing it cool with a touch of swagger, you tell him, relax. Making me a starter is the best decision you've ever made." Phil pauses for a second, then chuckles. "This undrafted rookie from China sure is young and cocky. Putting you in the starting lineup puts a massive amount of pressure on him, too." But he thought long and hard before making this call, because if your performance ends up costing them this Game 7, he might just be fishing back home next season. So, this is a massive gamble, and the stakes? The ultimate championship trophy. Phil tries his best to calm his nerves. In all his years of coaching, this is without a doubt the most nerve-wracking game of his life. Meanwhile, the moment you step onto the court, the system chimes in your head. Ding dong. Detected that the host is playing in Game 7. New mission unlocked. Mission objective: help the Lakers win Game 7. Secure the championship. Mission reward: 5,000 achievement points, and 1 Kai's Ryota copycat skill trial card, valid for 10 minutes. As one of the generation of miracles, Kai's Ryota's ability is absolutely insane. You can copy any move you've seen just once, and even execute an upgraded version of it. It's totally a game-breaking super skill. Whether it's for pride, for the team, or for those sweet rewards, you absolutely have to win this. A fierce fighting spirit ignites in your eyes. The referee blows the whistle. Wham! With his taller frame and longer wingspan, Gasol easily tips the ball away. Fisher scoops it up. He brings the ball past half court and dishes it to Kobe. Kobe holds the ball at the top of the arc and runs a pick and roll with Gasol, who steps up high. It's the classic Lakers pick and roll play. Since Gasol has a deadly mid-range jumper, their offensive options after the screen are endless. This time, right after the screen, Kobe drives hard and straight for the rim. Instantly, 3 Celtics defenders collapse into the paint, swarming Kobe in an unprecedented, brutal triple team. No matter what it takes, they refuse to let Kobe unleash his scoring power. It's terrifying. If he catches fire, the consequences would be disastrous. Throughout this entire series, No matter how the game is going, the Celtics always keep at least 2 pairs of eyes locked onto Kobe, ready to double-team him at a moment's notice. Everyone says that in the 2010 NBA Finals, Kobe faced some of the toughest, most relentless defense in NBA history. But honestly, in this year's finals, the defensive pressure he's dealing with is just as terrifying. Seeing 3 defenders rushing right at him, he doesn't panic at all. He jumps up, fakes a double clutch layup, and with a quick flick of his wrist, he passes it right out. You catch the ball in the right corner, wide open. In that split second, a wave of pure tension washes over the entire crowd. Your performance from the last game still haunts them like an absolute nightmare. It's got them terrified. You haven't even taken the shot yet, and Kobe is already throwing up the OK sign with both hands. In the past, the Celtics dared to double-team Kobe so recklessly because the team lacked a reliable 3-point shooter on the perimeter. Their best shooter, Vujacic, was fine in the regular season, but he just couldn't deliver in the playoffs. But things are different now. With your deadly and consistent 3-point shooting, every single time the Celtics double-team, they are going to pay a heavy price. Seeing Kobe celebrating early, your mouth twitches into a smirk, and you smoothly release the shot. Boss, you really know how to steal the spotlight. The basketball arcs through the air in a terrifyingly high parabola. It crashes into the basket like a missile. Nothing but net. The crowd goes absolutely wild. Terrifying memories come rushing back. Is this undrafted rookie from China about to put on a show again? What kind of dumb luck is that? A total fluke. That 3-pointer was an absolute fluke. But what a spectacular shot. Zhang Hua isn't showing any stage fright at all after moving into the starting lineup. Drilling the 3, and Kobe even started celebrating before it went in. He clearly has total faith in Yang's 3-point shooting. Barkley shouts excitedly. His eyes are gleaming, thinking back to when he got totally humbled for doubting Yao Ming and actually had to kiss a donkey ass. Now, facing another Chinese player, he doesn't dare talk any trash. The trauma is just too real for him. You're making a big deal out of nothing. Man, you're overreacting. It was just a wide open 3. Any decent shooter could knock that down. If Zhang Hua couldn't even make that, he'd literally just be a benchwarmer. Oh, wait, I forgot. He was just a benchwarmer before this. Reggie Miller says coldly. He sounds incredibly dismissive, clearly letting his personal bias show. Oh, really? Well, maybe he's going to be the greatest benchwarmer in NBA history. Barkley shoots back, clearly hyped. Reggie freezes for a second. Before scoffing, he's still just a bench guy. 3-0. The Lakers take the early lead right out of the gate. Celtics take possession. Rondo brings the ball past half court. He raises a hand, calling out the play. Garnett comes up to the high post to set the pick and roll. The Lakers don't switch. Instead, they fight through the screen to chase the play. After all, Fisher is only 1.85 meters tall. If they switched, he'd be matched up against the 2.11 meter tall Garnett. He'd get absolutely destroyed, even though he's fighting through the screen. The aging Fisher just can't keep up with Rondo's speed at all. Honestly, that's been the story of Fisher's entire career. He's never been able to guard fast point guards. Rondo drives hard to the rim, drawing Gasol over for the help defense. Then, he lobs the ball high into the air. Perkins goes up, grabs it with both hands, and viciously slams it into the hoop. What an alley-oop! The rim rattles from the force. The whole arena erupts into deafening cheers. The fans hold their Beat LA signs high up in the air. Doc Rivers stands on the sideline, nodding in complete satisfaction. This is the Celtics team he built. Not only do they have the unstoppable Big 3, but their tactical discipline and chemistry are the best in the entire league. How could the Lakers even compare to the Celtics right now? Are they just relying on Kobe? Or maybe this Chinese rookie who suddenly caught fire? The victory in this Game 7 definitely belongs to the Celtics. Tighten up the defense, guys. Expose this Chinese rookie for what he really is. Let Phil Jackson know exactly what happens when you start a benchwarmer. How incredibly stupid that decision is. Doc Rivers yells passionately. The Lakers are back on offense. Fisher brings the ball past half court and hands it right back to Kobe. Even though he's the starting point guard, Fisher is honestly just a role player. His only job is getting the ball across half court. Because his passing and playmaking skills are just average, Kobe drives in from the top of the arc. At the exact same time, you run off a cross screen, popping out to the left wing at 45 degrees. The ball comes whistling toward you. Kobe dishes it out to you without a second's hesitation. showing off his incredible passing vision. You catch the ball, just as Paul Pierce fights through the screen and lunges at you with absolutely terrifying momentum. But ignoring the defense, you force up a contested three-pointer. Clang! The ball bounces off the rim. A miss. Pierce pumps his fist and yells at you, "Kid, you just got lucky last game. There is absolutely zero chance you are hitting another three-pointer with me guarding you tonight." You just shrug it off, completely ignore him, and jog back on defense. The entire crowd lets out a massive sigh of relief. Turns out it was just a false alarm. Hey, this undrafted Chinese rookie's miracle run ends right here. If he can't hit his three-pointers, he is totally useless on the court. In the VIP suite, Wade looks baffled. This undrafted kid from China. Just how much PTSD did he give these Celtics fans? Every single time he shoots, the whole arena just loses its mind. That makes no sense. That three-point attempt was an absolute chuck. It was painfully obvious that was a terrible shot selection. If a three-point shooter can't even read the right moment to let it fly, then he is a total liability, just throwing away possession after possession. The second the Celtics dial up the defensive pressure, all those lucky shots are gonna brick hard. Reggie Miller says, looking pretty damn pleased with himself. Back on the court, the Celtics are on the attack. Ray Allen curls off a screen and catches the pass from Rondo. With Kobe flying out to contest, he calmly and coolly rises up for a three-pointer. Swish, nothing but net. Gentleman Ray gives a tiny smirk. A stone-cold killer hiding behind that calm face. The crowd goes absolutely wild. Now that is a freaking elite sniper. Consistency is the true mark of a great shooter. Beautiful. Ray Allen's shooting form is just pure poetry. It is absolutely mesmerizing. They both took contested threes, but the skill gap is night and day. Ray Allen really is the active three-point king. He just took this undrafted rookie to school. Reggie Miller says excitedly, while Barkley looks a bit bummed out. Did I set that whole trap before the game for nothing? If they keep playing like this, the Lakers are gonna end up completely helpless and unable to fight back, just like last game. Reggie is not eating his words at all. His pregame predictions are actually coming true. I didn't dig a hole for Reggie, I basically built him a freaking pedestal. Lakers possession. Kobe brings the ball across half court. He dumps it into Gasol. Gasol tries to post up but doesn't see a clear opening. So he kicks it back out to Odom. You are running off screens, but Pierce is glued to your hip. You have no choice but to flare out 2 meters beyond the three-point line to catch the ball. Obviously, the Lakers' opening offensive strategy is running entirely through you. Odom swings the pass your way. The moment you catch it, you immediately go into your shooting motion. Midorima Shintaro's super high arc three-point skill is activated once again. You launch the three right in Pierce's face. Again, this shot is even more ridiculous. Not only is he forcing a shot over the defense, it is a super deep three. He just threw away another possession. Taking stupid shots like that is gonna completely kill the team's momentum. And it completely wrecks their offensive flow. Reggie Miller snaps rapidly. His eyes are full of disappointment and frustration. But halfway through his sentence, he snaps his mouth shut. A look of pure shock washes over his face, because he sees the basketball drop dead center into the hoop, like a precision-guided missile. The net ripples perfectly, as beautiful as a splashing wave. It went in? How the hell did that go in? That is pure luck. Reggie Miller can only write it off as a fluke. But, was it really just luck? Barkley couldn't help but speak up, his mind flashing back to the last game, where you put on a shooting clinic right from the mid-court logo. It looked exactly like the shot you just made. Reggie Miller didn't say a word, his face turning dead serious. The crowd let out gasps of disbelief, their briefly settled nerves instantly acting up again. They couldn't help but worry. Man, you just got lucky. I can't believe you actually drained another insanely difficult, deep three-pointer. But the buck stops here. I'm not giving you another look from downtown. If you've got the guts, just stand by the half-court line and shoot threes for the rest of the game. Let's see how many you can actually make, Pierce sneered coldly. His expression was completely grim, getting embarrassed by a benchwarmer, who casually splashed back-to-back deep threes right in his face across 2 games. It was downright humiliating. Hearing that, you couldn't help but let out a wicked little smirk, forgiving Pierce for his total ignorance. How many could you make? Honestly, as long as you felt like it, every single three-pointer could be launched right from the half-court mark. After all, The shooting range of Shintaro Midorima's super high arcing three-pointer covers the entire half-court. As long as you cross that center line, you're looking at a 60% shooting average. The Celtics went on the offensive. Rondo brought the ball up and threw up a hand signal. His teammates immediately started moving off the ball. In a flash, Ray Allen drifted to the right wing at a 45-degree angle and shook his defender completely loose. Rondo whipped the ball over to him perfectly on time. It was painfully obvious, this play was drawn up specifically for Ray Allen. Since you just drained an answer ball, they absolutely had to let Ray respond in kind. Ray didn't hesitate, he pulled up clean and smooth, letting another three-pointer fly. Too bad he left it just a tiny bit short. With a loud clank, the ball rattled off the rim. Gasol secured the defensive rebound and immediately kicked the ball out to Kobe. Kobe, in turn, tossed the ball right back to you. You took one dribble across the half-court line and pulled up right on the giant center court logo, getting into your shooting form once again. At that exact moment, chills ran down the spines of everyone in the arena. Pierce's eyes nearly popped out of his head. He stared in pure disbelief, suddenly remembering the trash talk he had just spit out. A sudden wave of dread washed over him. Was this absolute nobody of a benchwarmer seriously about to launch another insanely deep three-pointer? The thought had barely crossed his mind when you leapt up and let the basketball fly. It wasn't a forced shot, and it definitely wasn't a desperate heave. It was just a totally normal, picture-perfect three-point shooting motion. As you released it, your body fully extended in the air. With a smooth flick of the wrist, the ball soared through the air. It traced a gorgeous, incredibly high arc before splashing beautifully through the net. Nothing but nylon. The swish sounded like a bomb dropping into the ocean, sending an absolute tidal wave of shock through the crowd. A dead, eerie silence fell over the arena. Everyone just stared, completely dumbstruck by what they had just witnessed. Some fans were so stunned they didn't even notice the snacks slipping right out of their hands and hitting the floor. Then, the entire stadium erupted into absolute madness. I thought there was no way that was going in. How the hell did he just drain back-to-back deep threes? Am I seeing things? No way. This is Game 7. How is an undrafted rookie completely taking over the game? Up in the VIP suite, Wade, who had just been getting ready to sip his champagne, saw your three-pointer and shot up from his seat so fast that he spilled his drink all over the floor. Pat Riley, sitting right beside him, had the exact same reaction. The two men locked eyes. They could see the pure shock on each other's faces. Boss, maybe we really made the right call coming here today. This Chinese undrafted kid's performance, it genuinely blew me away, Wade murmured. Riley, on the other hand, clenched his fists, a cunning gleam flashing in his eyes. He was already scheming, figuring out the most cost-effective way to sign you to the team. Whoa, it went in again. Barkley stammered, and thinking back to his prediction just moments ago, he couldn't help but break into a cold sweat. Is this just pure freaking luck? Absolute bullshit, man. What do you make of this? Barkley turned to Reggie Miller beside him, whose eyes were glazed over, his face frozen in utter disbelief. Man, those 2 3-pointers absolutely floored me. I think I need to seriously re-evaluate his three-point shooting abilities. It is just mind-boggling that he can drain back-to-back logo threes. It is just absolute magic, Reggie Miller muttered blankly, shaken beyond words. Hey, and here I thought you were gonna call it luck again. Barkley mocked casually, secretly relishing the moment. Looks like the trap he set worked like a charm. Down on the court, Pierce watched you cheering and celebrating, feeling frustrated to the absolute core. Dared him to shoot a half-court logo 3, and he actually took the damn shot. And he actually made it. It hasn't even been a freaking minute, and I'm already getting slapped in the face by his skills. No, I have to win this respect back. Rondo brought the ball past half-court, and Pierce aggressively stepped up to demand the ball. He threw out 2 pump fakes, then pulled up for a three-pointer right in your face. But you had already activated the Jinchuan Century's strongest arm skill, severely dropping Pierce's shooting percentage. Clang! The basketball bricked off the rim. The Lakers secured the defensive board and immediately launched a fast break. Kobe drove hard into the paint, and even with a wide-open layup, he didn't take the shot. Instead, he kicked it out to you on the perimeter. Like a blade drawn from its sheath, you fired off another three-pointer. Swish, nothing but net, 3 consecutive three-pointers, pushing the score to 12-5. The Lakers just grabbed a 7-point lead. Over on the sidelines, seeing this unfold, the veins bulged right out of Doc Rivers' forehead, and he frantically called a timeout. This was not how the script was supposed to play out at all. If we keep letting him shoot like this, it's gonna be garbage time before the half is even over. How the hell are we supposed to win a championship? Pierce, what is going on out there? You're supposed to be our finals MVP. How are you letting an undrafted rookie absolutely destroy you? Rivers barked furiously. My bad, coach, that's on me. I'll do everything I can to lock down this Chinese kid. Pierce growled through gritted teeth, his anger boiling over to the absolute limit. He felt like you were just completely toying with him out there. Not, do everything you can. You have to. This is a Game 7 war. We absolutely cannot afford to make a single mistake. Because just one tiny slip-up, and we throw away the entire championship trophy. Rivers stated dead serious, intensely rubbing the bridge of his nose. He never expected his worst fears to actually come true. This Chinese rookie really was having a massive breakout game. Thinking back on it now, the things Zhang said in that post-game interview. They weren't just empty threats after all, but thank God, he stayed up all night yesterday drawing up a defensive scheme specifically for you. Let's just pray this scheme works. Right now, the core of the Lakers' offense is Zhang Hua. His absolute go-to move is the catch and shoot. So, all we have to do is sever his connection with his teammates. If we stop him from getting the ball, we stop him from shooting threes. Rivers explained rapidly, aggressively drawing up the play. In his heart, he prayed desperately that this tactic would work. Over on the Lakers bench, Phil stood among the players, quickly drawing up a new play. Opening the game with you as the focal point of the offense was absolutely perfect, and you certainly didn't let him down. You showed off your incredible skills and helped the team grab an early lead. We can safely predict how the Celtics will react after this timeout. So now, it's time for you to draw the defense's attention and initiate the offense. Game 7 isn't just a battle between the players. It's also a high-stakes chess match between the two head coaches. I wonder, if Rivers knew what Phil's tactics were right now, what would he think? After all, Phil accurately predicted Rivers' own prediction. Coming out of the timeout, both sides are sticking with their starting lineups. After all, the game has only been going for 3 minutes. It's not time for substitutions just yet. The Celtics are the first to go on the offensive. Rondo holds the ball at the top of the key, looking for a teammate, but realizes they're all locked down tight. And his defender, Fisher, is sagging off him by over 3 feet, because Rondo's shooting is notoriously awful. So the Lakers' strategy is to completely dare him to shoot from mid to long range. Seeing this, Rondo doesn't hesitate. He gathers the ball, takes a beat to set himself, and fires a deep jumper. Clank, the ball bounces right off the rim. Rondo shakes his head in frustration. He clearly has absolutely zero confidence in his own shooting touch. Odom secures the defensive rebound and immediately dishes it to Kobe. As Kobe brings the ball up the court, he quickly notices that the Celtics' defense has shifted. Just as Phil had predicted, the defensive focus has completely zeroed in on Zhang. At least 2 players have their eyes glued on the passing lanes to Zhang. Seeing this, Kobe decisively takes matters into his own hands. He drives into the paint, fakes a pass, and then pulls up for a smooth mid-range jumper. Swish, nothing but net. The Lakers continue to stretch their lead. Over the next few minutes, Zhang is absolutely smothered by the Celtics' defense. He doesn't even get a chance to touch the ball. But the Lakers' offensive rhythm doesn't miss a beat. Their superstar, Kobe, begins to unleash his lethal scoring arsenal. He scores back-to-back buckets, leaving the Celtics' defense scrambling and totally out of sorts. Meanwhile, under the Lakers' suffocating defensive pressure, the Celtics' offense looks completely clogged up. It's sputtering, extremely inconsistent, and just falling apart. You notice that as the first quarter ticks down to the final 2 minutes. The score is 29-18. The Lakers have already built an 11-point lead. Rivers stands on the sideline, watching his team get dragged into the mud on both ends of the floor. He is absolutely furious. After playing for this long, how could he not see the tactical shift the Lakers just made? Phil is so damn sneaky. He completely sidelines a red-hot Zhang, and actually uses him as bait just to create scoring chances for Kobe. And here I am, like an idiot, hyper-focusing my entire defense on Zhang. That was so incredibly stupid. Double-team Kobe. Rivers screams at the top of his lungs, urgently switching up the game plan. He figures this Chinese rookie hasn't touched the ball in nearly 6 minutes, so his hot hand must have cooled off by now. Following Rivers' frantic shouting, the Celtics immediately shift their defensive scheme. The moment Kobe touches the ball, they aggressively double-team him, forcing him to give it up. The ball gets swung over to Fisher. The veteran Fish stands right at the 45-degree angle on the right wing. Before Rondo can even close out on him, he decisively launches a three-pointer. Clank, it's a total brick. Garnett violently rips down the rebound. Rondo catches the pass and quickly dribbles across half court. He immediately passes the ball to the trailing Ray Allen. Ray Allen catches it, takes a step back behind the three-point line, and decisively shoots the three. Swish, it's good. This is Ray Allen's third three-pointer of the game. Beautiful. Ray Allen has just shown us the absolute confidence of the best active three-point shooter. Even though he caught the ball inside the arc, he didn't settle for a long two. Instead, he stepped back, opting for the much tougher three-pointer. Reggie Miller says excitedly. Charles Barkley shoots him a sideways glance, thinking to himself, "Are you telling me Zhang Hua sinking 2 consecutive logo threes from half-court isn't a show of confidence?" But then again, it's been quite a while since Zhang Hua last caught the ball for a shot. When is he going to pull off another spectacular play? Barkley looks at the court, feeling an inexplicable sense of anticipation. Because of you, for the very first time, he feels the thrill, the absolute adrenaline rush that comes from watching a three-pointer. Back on the court, the Lakers are on offense. Kobe is once again met with the Celtics' suffocating defense. In the paint, Gasol is being completely smothered by Perkins and Garnett. He has absolutely zero room to operate. Fisher is shooting ice cold, currently 0 for 3 with 0 points. After your explosive opening performance, for quite a while now, you haven't done much on the offensive end, just focusing on locking down Paul Pierce on defense. The Lakers' offense has completely stalled out. Several consecutive possessions have ended in bricks and turnovers. The Celtics seize the opportunity. Garnett is wreaking havoc in the paint, scoring back-to-back buckets. They've managed to cut the deficit down to 5 points. Phil Jackson immediately stands up and calls a timeout. He draws up a new play. Coming out of the timeout, Odom inbounds the ball from the sideline. Kobe runs to the top of the arc, catches the ball, and is instantly double-teamed. Gasol is no longer wrestling in the paint. Instead, he steps out to the high post to provide support. Kobe catches the ball, flicks his wrist, and passes it right into your hands as you sprint past him. After more than 7 long minutes, you finally touch the basketball once again. Without a second of hesitation, you glance up at the rim and activate Shintaro Midoriya's ultra-high arc three-point skill. You pull up straight for the three. Pierce gets screened by Gasol for just a split second, making his defensive rotation a beat too late. He can only watch helplessly as the ball releases from your fingertips. The basketball traces a massive, high arc through the air, and swishes beautifully through the net. Your fifth three-pointer might be a little late, but it certainly isn't absent. You raise both hands high in the air to celebrate, your eyes burning with absolute confidence. It's good again, man. This kid's three-point shot is ridiculously accurate. The first quarter isn't even over yet, and he's already knocked down 5 three-pointers. What do you think about that? Barkley asks, a hint of gloating in his voice. He clearly remembers exactly what Reggie Miller said before the game. To be able to drain 5 three-pointers in a single quarter during a Game 7. I've got to say, this undrafted rookie from China has an incredibly strong mentality. And I have to admit, his three-point shooting ability is truly elite. At first, I was questioning his skills, but now, I am completely won over by his performance. Reggie Miller completely changes his tune, a look of sheer astonishment flashing in his eyes. A terrifying thought suddenly pops into his mind. Could this undrafted Chinese rookie actually make 10 three-pointers in Game 7? But several of his three-point attempts were completely forced. Barkley teases, using Reggie's own words from earlier to mock him. But being able to knock down those totally unreasonable shots is exactly where Yang's true strength lies, Reggie Miller replies. Starts hyping you up like crazy. Barkley was caught completely off guard for a second. He didn't even know what to say for a moment. This old guy has got some serious thick skin. Just a minute ago, he was going all out, trashing and criticizing Zhang Hua, and now he's practically singing his praises. Talk about a quick change of face. On the sidelines, Rivers was holding his head, unable to bear watching. And they scored again. He hadn't touched the ball for almost 7 minutes, but the second he got it, he just pulled up and shot it. Shoots and scores. What kind of blazing hot hand is this? They finally managed to cut the lead down to 5 points, and boom, he drains a 3-pointer. The gap is back up to 8 points. That is a massive blow to their morale. All they can do is hope that Ray Allen responds and knocks down some momentum-shifting threes. Celtics on the attack. Rondo brings the ball past half-court and dishes it out to Ray Allen. Ray clanks the 3-pointer. Seeing this, Rivers just helplessly shakes his head again. Ray Allen's 3-point shooting is getting completely shut down by Jonghwa right now. Lakers on the fast break. Kobe brings the ball up the court, sees Pierce hesitating on defense, and decisively takes him on one-on-one. He hits him with back-to-back crossovers, pulls up for the fadeaway. And it's good. With 2 minutes left, both sides are locked in a total stalemate. Heading into the second quarter, both teams were running their bench units. Lakers players like Farmar and Walton just fell apart out there, missing shot after shot. In a game as crucial as a Game 7, they were clearly looking a bit nervous. Meanwhile, the Celtics, fueled by their tough bench guys like James Worthy and DJ Brown, went on a scoring run. In less than 2 minutes, they cut the deficit down to just 4 points. Phil Jackson had no choice but to bring the starters back in. Seeing this, Rivers quickly subbed his starters back in too. Both sides kicked off a brand new dogfight. The crowd was absolutely on the edge of their seats, buzzing with anticipation. The atmosphere in the arena was so suffocating, people were barely even daring to breathe. But the Lakers' downward spiral didn't stop with the substitutions. Just like the last game, it was like someone suddenly pulled the plug on them. The team fell into a massive scoring drought. The Celtics pounced right on that opportunity, and went on an 18-4 run in just 6 minutes. Not only did they take the lead, they built up a 10-point advantage. The Lakers looked completely clueless out there. The scales of victory seemed to be tipping heavily in favor of the Celtics. So much for the superstar Kobe Bryant. Under the Celtics' suffocating defense, it was all just talk. That championship trophy belongs to the Celtics. Sure enough, there's still a massive gap in talent between the two squads. Honestly, the Celtics could have wrapped up this entire series back in Game 6. But because of Jonghwa's crazy breakout performance, this series got dragged all the way to a Game 7. Even though Jong is still playing out of his mind tonight, it's just not enough to change the final outcome. Reggie Miller sounded a bit gutted as he said, "Man, it's such a shame the Lakers' Bynum is out injured. Otherwise, they wouldn't be getting absolutely bullied in the paint like this. Gasol is trying so hard out there, but he's still getting absolutely shut down by Garnett and Perkins. He can't give Kobe any backup whatsoever. It feels like the whole Lakers squad has relapsed right back into last season's form, relying entirely on Kobe to carry the offense. And when Kobe is having an off night, the Lakers are in deep, deep trouble." As for Jonghwa, can the Lakers seriously count on this wild card to help them turn the game around? It's just way too unrealistic. His performance in this game has already been more than enough. Barkley chimed in too, sounding completely resigned. In the XL live stream chat, the fans were going crazy. Some were passionately cheering you on. Of course, there was some rational analysis too. Get the hell out. Some fans were still hurling vicious insults, saying he totally deserved it. A benchwarmer is just a benchwarmer in the end. Absolute trash. He's an embarrassment to all Chinese people. Honestly, watching his team lose makes my day. Gotta hand it to the Celtics. All sorts of nasty comments like that were just sickening to hear. Seeing the Lakers struggling so badly, these haters were acting incredibly arrogant. On the court at TD Garden, the Lakers' morale hit rock bottom. Frustration was written all over the faces of Kobe, Gasol, and the rest of the guys. This damn ball just wouldn't go in. What else could they even do? Come on, guys, cheer up. We're only down by 10 points. We're going to turn this game around and win the championship. You encouraged them, clapping your hands. Your face was beaming with confidence. But Gasol, Odom, and the others just looked totally clueless. They had no idea where you got the nerve to say that. Were they supposed to count on you doing what you did in the last game? Exploding in the final quarter like that again? That would just be completely ridiculous. Lady Luck might smile on you once, but to get incredibly lucky twice in a row? Nobody bought that for a second. The Celtics players sneered with absolute mockery. They looked at you like you were a total idiot. In the last game, it was just their own carelessness. That let a benchwarmer like you pull off that insane performance. Did you really think they'd make the same stupid mistake twice? You're way too naive. Seeing the doubting looks from your teammates, you just smiled. Just pass the ball to me, you said calmly. The Lakers players grew even more confused. They were pretty skeptical, but remembering your absolute crazy performance at the end of the last game. When a guy with zero solo scoring ability like you completely destroyed the Celtics by yourself. If you could actually tap into that magical zone again, well, maybe it wasn't totally impossible. It was the Lakers' possession. Fisher brought the ball past half court, and passed it to you as you stepped up to the top of the key, calling for the ball. This was your very first isolation play of the game. The moment you touched the ball, the entire arena erupted into deafening boos. Pierce's expression turned dead serious as he braced himself. Even though the scouting report claimed you had absolutely no handles and couldn't score on your own. You clearly proved that you had both of those skills in the last game. Even if it was just a fluke, he wasn't going to let his guard down. A cold, sharp smile crept onto your lips. You instantly triggered Kotaro Hayama's lightning dribble. This right here was your ultimate weapon for this game. Combined with Shintaro Midorima's high projectile three-pointer, it was more than enough to completely crush the team's current slump. You pulled back 2 fingers, dribbling with just the middle 3. That was the only way to unleash the true power of the lightning dribble. A literal crack of thunder seemed to echo right from your fingertips, and your dribbling speed suddenly exploded. Pierce froze dead in his tracks when he saw that. His entire understanding of reality just took a massive hit. Dribbling with just 3 fingers? That completely defies the laws of physics and balance. This makes zero scientific sense. Was everything he learned in high school physics just a total lie? And what on earth was up with that faint, rumbling sound of thunder? Was he hearing things? While he was still utterly shocked, you made your move. After 2 lightning-fast crossovers, you snatched the ball right back behind the 3-point line and pulled up for a shot. The basketball soared through the air in an incredibly high arc, and swished right through the net. Instantly, the boos completely vanished. The entire arena fell into dead silence. Every single person in the crowd stared in absolute shock. And then, an explosive uproar tore through the stands. Oh my god, what did I just watch? Dribbling with 3 fingers? What kind of sick basketball stunt is that? It looked like CGI straight out of a movie. Barkley's eyes bulged out of his head, his jaw literally dropping wide open. Live long and see, man. I have never, ever seen a player dribble with just 3 fingers. The crazy part is how hard that is. It is absolutely insane. Reggie Miller shook his head, completely in disbelief. On the court, Kobe, Gasol, and the rest of the guys threw their arms up, cheering louder than if they had scored it themselves. The bench went totally nuts, waving their towels in the air. Phil looked incredibly pleased, with a spark in his eyes, thinking back to the absolute confidence you showed right before stepping onto the court. And those words you said, I am going to put on an even greater performance than last game. And help the team win this one. Maybe you really weren't just talking big. This undrafted rookie from China has become the light of the Lakers once again. With just a single 3-pointer, the entire momentum on the court completely shifted. The Lakers' morale went through the roof. After seeing you pull off that miraculous 3-finger dribbling technique, they started pinning all their hopes on you. Meanwhile, the Celtics players looked grim, an ominous feeling welling up inside them. If you pulled off another godlike performance like the last 4 minutes of the previous game, then this game was going to be an absolute nightmare. Pierce glanced over at Rivers on the sideline, with a questioning look in his eyes. Rivers hesitated for a split second, then shook his head, deciding against double-teaming you. That 3-finger dribbling ability was just way too mind-blowing. He leaned toward the idea that your play just now was a total fluke. For this game, their defensive focus still had to stay glued to Kobe. The team could afford the damage if Zhonghua went off. But if Kobe caught fire? That would be a disaster they just couldn't survive. Celtics on offense, Rondo dribbled past half court, only to find his teammates completely locked down, leaving him zero chance to run a play. So, he kicked the ball out to Pierce. As the ace of the team, Pierce's one-on-one skills are absolutely top tier in the league. But facing you tonight, his shooting touch just wasn't clicking. Shooting just 2 for 6 right now with only 4 points, he was having the worst night among the big 3. He threw back-to-back crossovers to shake your balance, hitting a step-back jumper just as you lunged forward to contest. At that exact moment, you triggered Shiki Kanagawa's strongest arm skill. Even though you didn't completely block Pierce's shot, it still heavily messed up his shooting rhythm. Clank. As the basketball bounced off the rim again, Pierce shook his head, looking totally frustrated. Man, am I cursed tonight? In a game this crucial, why the hell is my shot so incredibly cold? I am playing like absolute trash on offense. He was only blaming himself, completely ignoring your stifling defense. Because every time he isolated, he was able to easily get a shot off. Which made him think your defense was just a joke. The Lakers pushed the fast break, and after catching the ball, you activated Kotaro Hayama's lightning dribble skill once again, dribbling with a single finger, accompanied by the faint crackle of thunder. You moved like a god, speed dribbling past half court before slamming on the brakes. 2 meters behind the three-point line, you just looked up and fired. In this do-or-die moment to cut the lead, you held absolutely nothing back, pushing Shintaro Midoriya's high projectile three-pointer skill to its absolute maximum potential. The basketball traced a super high arc through the air, and swish, nothing but net. The lead was cut down to just 4 points. Here we go again. Is there no end to this? Zhonghua hits another unbelievable deep three. Right now, I can say with absolute certainty, this isn't some lucky shot. His three-point range is literally half the court. As long as he crosses that half-court line, he can pull up for three from anywhere. Barkley kept yelling in absolute excitement, while Reggie Miller just stood there, completely stunned. It was like his soul just got struck by lightning. At first, I had my doubts too. But right now, Zhonghua is dropping one unbelievable three-pointer after another. He completely shattered all my doubts. In this entire world, is there really a player who can stretch his three-point range all the way out to half-court? This is way beyond my wildest imagination. I seriously have to apologize for the stupid things I said earlier. Zhonghua's magical performance in the last game wasn't a fluke at all. It's pure, undeniable skill. Now I'm starting to believe him. All that stuff he said in his interview wasn't just him blowing smoke. In this game tonight, he absolutely has a chance to drain 10. Or even more three-pointers. Reggie Miller shouted with pure excitement. His attitude pulled a complete 180, turning him into your absolute biggest hype man. It's safe to say, your insane three-point shooting has completely won him over. Up in the VIP suite, 7 three-pointers already. This undrafted kid from China is putting on a mind-blowing show. Especially his three-point shooting. It's practically out of this world. He even gives me the feeling that he might be a better shooter than Ray Allen. Pat Riley said, trembling with excitement. His eyes were literally shining. He was already starting to daydream about the beautiful picture of the Miami Heat signing you. That god-tier three-point shot of yours would absolutely strike terror into the entire league. Honestly, just looking at his performance right now, Zhonghua really is outplaying Ray Allen. And man, that three-finger dribble of his completely blew my mind. It's just so unique. Dwayne Wade shook his head, a deep spark of interest for you lighting up inside him. Down on the court, Paul Pierce was absolutely speechless. He desperately wanted to ask you, this undrafted Chinese kid, are you even freaking playing basketball right now? Why the hell is your skill set completely different from a normal human being? What kind of normal person dribbles the ball with just 3 fingers? What kind of normal person casually spams 3-pointers from the parking lot? Are you out of your damn mind? But at the same time, a terrifying thought crept into his mind. His own terrible shooting percentage tonight. Could it really be because of this kid's defense? The thought flashed through his head for a split second. But Pierce quickly shook his head, immediately shutting down the idea. After all, he hadn't felt an ounce of real defensive pressure from you. Or any actual threat. Double-team Zhonghua. Doc Rivers growled through gritted teeth. That 3-finger dribble. That absolutely absurd ball-handling technique. How the hell did he master it so perfectly? Now that he's showing off this elite level of ball handling, just guarding the passing lanes to deny him the ball isn't going to cut it anymore. We have to double-team him. But if we do that, what the hell do we do about Kobe? Doc Rivers felt a massive headache coming on. This problem felt completely impossible to solve. We can't double-team both of them at the same time. We just have to trap the guy who's playing better. Damn it, where the hell did this Chinese kid even come from? He's absolute kryptonite for the Celtics. Entering the last 2 minutes of the first half, the Celtics offense completely stalled out. The Lakers, meanwhile, fueled by your energy, went on an absolute tear with a massive counterattack. The first half wrapped up with a score of 62-62. Both teams are dead even at the starting line again. That intense first half is over. But the fans are still on the absolute edge of their seats. Nobody is even paying attention to the cheerleaders' halftime show on the court. Everyone is just overwhelmingly anxious, waiting for the second half to tip off. That agonizingly long halftime break is finally over, and this Game 7 bloodbath enters a chaotic second half. Right out of the gate, Ray Allen caught fire, sinking 3 straight triples from the exact same spot, once again helping the Celtics with a 9-point lead, just like in Game 6 of the series. The Celtics look ready to ride this momentum and close out the game. Ray Allen is absolutely catching fire. He's already drained 6 3-pointers in this game alone, just one shy of Jonghwa. Ackley shouted with pure excitement. Getting to watch 2 elite sharpshooters trade threes in a Game 7 is an absolute treat for the fans. It really looks like Ray Allen is taking this matchup with Jonghwa personally. As the undisputed greatest 3-point shooter in the league, there's no way he'd just stand by and watch Jonghwa steal the show right in his face. Reggie Miller chimed in. The competitive fire inside was fully ignited. Seeing that things were going south on the court, Phil immediately called for a timeout. Kobe, you've got to find a way to lock down Ray Allen. His 3-point shooting is killing us out there, Phil said with a dead serious look. My bad, coach, that last one was on me. That damn Ray Allen is just too insanely hot right now, Kobe snapped through gritted teeth. There was a heavy hint of frustration in his voice. He had been playing suffocating defense, giving it absolutely everything. But Ray Allen still somehow found daylight to sink those wild threes. Shots like that are a massive blow to morale. Phil furrowed his brow. Kobe was already their best perimeter defender, a guy who had made the NBA all-defensive first team year after year. If even Kobe couldn't put the clamps on Ray Allen, this game was going to be an absolute nightmare to win. Thank God Pierce was having a quiet night. Otherwise, this would turn into a total repeat of Game 6. They could easily be down by 20 or even 30 points right now. Wait, Phil suddenly had a wild idea. He slowly turned his gaze toward you. After all, ever since you started guarding him, Paul Pierce's offensive production had completely fallen off a cliff. But it made no sense. A guy like you shouldn't have any defensive skills at all. Your scrawny frame had zero physical presence, and your speed couldn't match these world-class athletes. But ever since that crazy 3-point explosion last game, did something click in your defense, too? This was getting incredibly weird. Still, desperate times called for desperate measures. If I put you on Ray Allen as his primary defender, are you confident you can shut him down? Phil Jackson asked you, testing the waters. Hell yeah, I'll lock him up so bad he'll forget how to play basketball, you replied with absolute swagger. Your teammates stared at you in sheer disbelief. How could you still be talking trash at a time like this? Even Kobe, the fiercest perimeter lockdown defender in the league, couldn't stop Ray Allen when he was on fire. Where on earth were you getting this insane confidence to say you'd completely shut him down? Just because you can shoot the lights out from 3, doesn't mean you can just spout nonsense. Even Kobe shot you an icy glare. Alright then, coming out of the timeout, you're on Ray Allen, Phil declared, a faint smirk tugging at the corner of his lips. He was genuinely curious to see if you, an undrafted rookie from China, had any more tricks up your sleeve. Plus, he wanted to test his own wild theory. Was Paul Pierce's sudden massive slump actually caused by your defense? The rest of the guys on the bench were absolutely dumbfounded. Why was the coach playing along with this madness? Whoa, are you kidding me? This is Game 7 of the NBA Finals. How can we treat this like a joke? Meanwhile, over on the Celtics bench, Doc Rivers was screaming his lungs out. Get the ball to Ray Allen at all costs. Let his 3-point shooting bury them for good. The buzzer sounded. The Lakers stepped back onto the hardwood, faces still full of doubt. You immediately picked up Ray Allen full court, while Kobe slid over to guard Pierce. And look at this. Jonghwa is taking the primary assignment on Ray Allen. Kobe couldn't stop him, so Phil is actually trusting an undrafted rookie to lock him down. As incredible as Jonghwa's shooting has been, but expecting his defense to be better than Kobe's, now that's just pure nonsense. Reggie Miller said, sounding a bit surprised. During the pregame prep, he had reviewed a ton of your scouting reports. Aside from hitting 3-pointers, you had absolutely zero strengths. Your defense was summed up in one single word, terrible. But Jonghwa completely locked down Pierce. I think we can actually look forward to his defense against Ray Allen, Barkley chimed in. He knew very well that your miraculous performance beyond the three-point arc had completely overshadowed your contributions on the defensive end. Wasn't it just Paul Pierce having an off night? What does that have to do with Zhang Hua's defense? Reggie Miller remained highly skeptical. Man, stop relying on those scouting reports or any other stats to judge Zhang Hua. Before the game, did you ever imagine that he'd be draining back-to-back logo threes from half-court? Did you ever think he could dribble the ball using just 3 fingers? And do it that incredibly well? Barkley argued back, his tone filled with absolute certainty. Reggie Miller fell silent for a moment, completely at a loss for words. It seemed like this undrafted rookie from China was always pulling off the unexpected on the court, completely shattering all expectations. So what about this time? Down on the court, Ray Allen smirked, flashing an incredibly arrogant expression. You're guarding me? Have the Lakers just given up on this game entirely? Quite the opposite, actually. We're getting ready to win this whole thing. You fired back sharply, not backing down for a single second. Hey, let me send you packing with a three-pointer then, Ray Allen sneered, his confidence practically overflowing. On the very next possession, I'm going to drop a logo 3 right on your head. You replied with deadpan calmness, in your dreams. I'm absolutely not giving you that chance. Ray Allen gritted his teeth, fuming. This undrafted Chinese kid is way too damn arrogant. Just zero respect for anybody. Hey man, you need to watch out for him. This undrafted kid's defense is super weird. Every single time I thought I had an open look, the shots just wouldn't fall, Pierce said, looking visibly frustrated. As he walked over to warn his teammate, Ray Allen just shot Pierce a huge side eye, as if to say, dude, you play like trash yourself, and you're blaming the defender? Sure, this was a do-or-die Game 7, but there was no need to make up such lame excuses for yourself, right? On the Celtics' offensive possession, Rajon Rondo followed the coach's play and drove hard into the paint. Then, he kicked the ball out perfectly to Ray Allen, who had timed his run to the right 45-degree angle. Watching you aggressively close out on him, Ray Allen didn't flinch one bit. His eyes turned ice cold, and he instantly pulled up for the shot. The moment his feet touched the floor, Ray Allen was already celebrating, throwing both hands up and flashing the OK signs. His release felt absolutely flawless. That shot was definitely going in. That was the pure confidence of an elite sniper. However, the basketball sailed through a high, soaring arc, only to bounce off the rim with a loud clank. Ray Allen was instantly dumbfounded. Damn it, the release felt so perfect, how the hell did that not drop? He stared at his own shooting hand in utter disbelief. He got the stop. Zhang Hua actually shut down Ray Allen's three-pointer. Barkley yelled excitedly, it's just one single possession. That doesn't prove anything. Let's just keep watching, Reggie Miller replied, his expression completely flat. Still highly doubting your defensive abilities. Barkley just scoffed, eagerly anticipating your next big play, ready for you to show the whole world just what kind of elite defensive level this undrafted Chinese rookie truly possessed.